Hello, and welcome to this AWS Transfer Family video. In this video, we will walk you through one of our most popular workshops, building an event-driven managed file transfer workflow. Specifically, we will give you an overview of the workshop and cover what you should expect to see in the first and second module. We will also briefly review the module-specific architecture diagrams and show you how to launch the workshop. In this workshop, you will build a fully automated business-to-business transfer and file processing workflow. The workshop is broken into two modules and will cover two common integration patterns over SFTP. Module 1 will specifically cover listing a directory from an SFTP server and transferring the files to S3. And Module 2 will cover transferring files from S3 to an SFTP server via an SFTP connector. The workshop will also provide examples of pre- and post-processing steps that you can do. Let's dive in and take a closer look at Module 1. In Module 1, we create a workflow that will retrieve files from a remote SFTP server using Transfer Family SFTP connectors. The workflow starts by looking up the partner's parameters from the DynamoDB table and then invokes the SFTP connector to list files stored on the remote server. If files are present, the files in the file list will be transferred from the remote SFTP server to S3, where post-processing steps will then begin. In this case, for post-processing, we will decrypt the PGP encrypted files and transform file type using our B2B converter. The post-processing steps that we choose are just one example of what you could do with post-processing. In your own workflow, you could add or change the processing steps by adding additional custom steps into the workflow. This entire workflow is automated using step functions that are kicked off when a user action triggers an event. In Module 2, we create a workflow that will send files from an S3 bucket to a remote SFTP server using SFTP connectors. The workflow starts when a file is created in the target S3 bucket and an S3 event is triggered. The partner parameters are looked up in the DynamoDB table and pre-processing steps are done. In this case, the file will be converted from CSV to JSON and encrypted using PGP. The converted files are stored in an S3 bucket, and the workflow then invokes the SFTP connector to send the file to the remote SFTP server. Just like in Module 1, the pre-processing steps that we choose are just one example of what you could do with pre-processing. In your own workflow, you could add or change the processing steps by adding additional custom steps into the workflow. This entire workflow is also automated using step functions that are kicked off when a user action triggers an event. To launch this workshop, you have two options. Option 1 is to attend an AWS-sponsored event or have your AWS account team host the workshop for you. If you do not know your account team but would like to go this route, click on the link in the description below and contact us. We will help you find your assigned account team. If you choose this option, there is no cost to participate. Option 2 is to do this workshop on your own. If you choose this option, you will click the workshop link in the description below and follow the instructions to deploy the workshop. Please note that this option will incur a cost, and the cost will be of the resources you set up. Let's take a closer look at Option 1. For Option 1, you will be given a temporary Sandbox account where your workshop has been pre-provisioned. At the start, you'll be asked to read and check some terms and conditions. These just ensure you understand this is a temporary lab environment, you are the appropriate age, and you agree not to misuse the account. Once you've signed the conditions, you'll be shown to this page. On the left, you can access your workshop by clicking on the link. Down below, you can access the console. Now that we have our console set up, we can go ahead and start with the lab. And you're going to want to, after you read through the introduction, you'll go to preparation and start with that page. If you choose Option 2, the first thing you will need to do is log into your AWS account. Once you've done that, copy and paste the workshop link that is in the description below into your browser. Once you've done that, you'll be taken to this workshop page. Navigate on the left-hand side to create resources at a non-AWS event. Scroll down and copy the S3 URL. This contains the CloudFormation nested stack that you will need to launch. In your own account, navigate to CloudFormation and choose Create Stack. Choose with New Resources and input the URL you just copied. Hit Next and give your workshop a name. Leave the rest of the parameters as default. You do have to acknowledge that you may create new IAM resources. Hit Next, Review, and Submit. It'll take a couple minutes to launch your resource. As a reminder, if you choose option 2, the resources that will be deployed are AWS B2B, Amazon S3, AWS Lambda, AWS Step Functions, DynamoDB, Transfer Family, EventBridge, and Secrets Manager. You will pay the cost of these resources if you choose option 2. Well, that takes us to the conclusion of this video. We hope you've enjoyed and happy building.